Welcome to the Digital Glue Podcast. These digital untangling episodes are brought to you by Vaynerchuk, CEO and founder of Virtually Untangled. This podcast is for entrepreneurs who need untangling from the day-to-day tasks in their business. These virtual world untanglers never underestimate the power of a good idea. And if that sounds like a lofty goal, well, it is. A decade ago, Virtually Untangled was founded with the goal of creating meaningful digital experiences that connect with people. Crystal and her team of honorary untanglers are now providing business owners just like you the opportunity to own your story and share it with the world. So, every Tuesday morning, she'll be dropping a new episode that will help you think big and dream even bigger. Let's dive into today's episode.
Hey there, Digital Glue Insiders, and Happy New Year! I don't know about you, but I truly feel that there's something magical about January. It's not only the start of a new year, but it also feels like a great time to turn to the next chapter in business. We personally aren't ones to make resolutions, but we do strongly believe in keeping on top of our goals. So this month, we encourage you to revisit your goals, adjust if necessary, and put your plans in motion. Psst. It's also a great time to splurge a bit on yourself and buy a new planner and some fun stickers that inspire you to keep on track. Digital planners or calendars are great too, but there's just something about writing things in a visually appealing planner. And speaking of planning and revisiting goals, we wanted to start with a different kind of topic in the realms of your price point and the psychology behind it all, as there's truly no better time than now to reevaluate your worth. So let's start with the psychology behind the numbers, as there's a few ways you can go about doing this. We've narrowed down the top 4 pricing strategies for you, and they go a little something like this. Number 1, charm pricing, which is a simple method of using a pricing strategy that reduces your offering by 1 cent, making it end in a 9 or a 99. It's a good way to market your value, as one's brain tends to process $200 and $199 as different values. To one's brain, $199 is actually perceived as $100, which is way cheaper than $200. Number 2, prestige pricing. This type of pricing is the opposite of charm pricing, as it involves making all the values into rounded figures, meaning $199 is then turned into $200. This has a like effect as charm pricing does, but in a different sense, as it's more fluently processed and encourages reliance on the customer's feelings compared to charm pricing, which relies on cognition. To the consumer, rounded numbers just feel right because the purchase is being driven by feelings and the price point is easy to quickly process. Number 3, comparative pricing. Some say that this is the most effective psychological business strategy for any entrepreneur, as it involves simplicity between 2 or more offers that are comparable, but making one of the offers much more attractive than the other. This way, for the consumer, it isn't a game of choice, because to the average human, if something is a little bit more expensive, then it's considered higher quality and well worth a few extra dollars. And number 4, BOGO pricing. This is a fun marketing play and a no-brainer, as it's a true win-win by offering the consumer a buy one, get one free offer. The strategy here is simple. Once a customer comes across the offer, logic completely gets tossed into the wind. Then their main focus is making the purchase in order to get the free item. Some may think of this strategy as consumer greed, but we tend to think of it as a creative one, as it's providing the consumer with extra value at a discount or double what they would normally get. And a happy consumer is a returning one. We also like to add a few more ourselves through retainer packages based on hours purchased that are discounted from our hourly rate, and bundled packages that usually come with a handful of virtual needs at a discounted rate. Most of our bundled packages also come with a choice of add-on services for our dream client to pick and choose from based upon their current business needs. Okay, so now that you know the 4 most common pricing strategies and the psychology behind them all, I hope you're not feeling overwhelmed by choice and wanting to crawl back into bed thinking about your own strategy. That's how we felt when we tackled this big internal to-do. And we don't want you to feel that way, which is why we're here today untangling this with you. Now, for many of us entrepreneurs, pricing our offers comes with a load of virtual baggage of something called imposter syndrome, which boils down to an underlying lack of confidence alongside the fear of rejection and perhaps even failure. And don't you know it, a heck of a lot of hard work re-implementing a new pricing structure. Especially if you have a virtual buffet of offerings like we do that you want to put into play to your current client roster, while also honoring their everlasting faith in you and to your dream potentials. So before you go ahead and dive into the heavy work, it's also important to understand the principles of persuasion that align with the psychology behind it all. Then once you align our top 4 strategies with these principles, you will be able to breathe easier and make better decisions about how your offerings should be priced. According to all the research we've done on these principles, they're as follows: offering value, building trust, being consistent, sharing social proof, speaking with authority, creating community, and creating an atmosphere of scarcity. Now, before you start rummaging through all your virtual paperwork, trying to figure out which of these strategies and principles align with your business, it's important to begin this process by knowing your strengths and acknowledging your achievements, especially when it comes to price points. Many of our Tangled clients start an onboarding call off with us by listing everything they feel they are not good at or haven't yet achieved, or have on their never-ending dream bucket list, focusing more on the irrelevant parts of their business. Truth be told, your clients don't know what they don't know. But what they do know is what kind of work they have seen from you or heard about, and they want it. So instead of feeling piled up with self-doubt and criticism by searching through your weaknesses, humming and hawing on what you feel you're worth just so you can grow your business and client roster, stop searching for your weaknesses and start focusing on your strengths and what you truly bring to the table. It's as simple as a bit of research in your market to be able to take a real objective look at how you compare to your competitors. And that's not just in the numbers, but also what you do differently and how your price points compare. Now comes the big part: evaluating your current pricing, which we suggest doing annually or biannually, and putting things into play. Each and every year, the economy changes, especially these days as we rummage through our lives dealing with the post-pandemic inflation, which just keeps going up, creating cost of living changes for everyone. With all these changes happening and well out of your control, your business needs to align and adjust as well. Yes, raising your prices can be stressful, but once you make it a normal routine, it becomes much easier. We personally tend to reevaluate our offerings every 2 years to make the load of the work involved in making it so a bit easier on ourselves. If you think about it, every year inflation rises about 3 to 5%. So in turn, you should also be raising your prices the same amount. But on top of that, you must also consider if some of your offerings need an additional bump, or if you want to increase your entire price point strategy overall. Think of things this way. In addition to annual inflation, if you're continuously adding value to your clients' business lives, you already have a more than great reason to charge higher price points. Okay, you have all you need to make a sensible decision on your prices. Now I want to end things off today with a little untangling checklist for making all this happen. So feel free to take some notes or print the list from within the transcript of this episode. Send an email to your current client 60 days before your go live date. You want to ensure in the email that you start by talking about your core values as a business, operating costs, and that you're increasing, when the increase date will officially go into effect, and stipulations or rules that come with the new pricing territory. Then end off reminding them how much you value them and leave the email open to questions. Also consider grandmothering certain clients into your old pricing, especially if you've just recently signed a big contract with a new client. In this case, you probably shouldn't switch up pricing within a month when you've just recently finalized negotiations with them. We suggest giving them an appropriate time period, even if it's just until the end of the month or term, before bumping the price. And make sure to discuss it with them early so they know it's coming and it's not a huge surprise. Then you want to update all price points and packages within your contract platform, and then do the same and update all price points and packages within your invoicing platform. And then create a simplified action plan for tackling all price adjustments on your website. We like to do this in Asana and set dated reminders for ourselves based on each web page, since we have an array of service offerings, and then make all the necessary updates as you have planned. Send a second email to your current clients as a friendly reminder 2 weeks before the new pricing structure begins. Then send out the new contract agreements to your clients 7 days before their current contract expires or their next auto renewal, which is a third friendly reminder that your new pricing structure is now in place. And voila! We also wanted to let you know that if you're feeling mighty stuck on how to wordsmith this to your current clients, as you're afraid you might scare them off, we created the most perfect set of human touch emails, and we would be more than happy to share them with you. Just drop us an email and we'll send them over. That all being shared today, we very much understand how terrifying this process can be. It's all too easy to get lost in worrying about raising your prices and losing sleep over it. And you may already be fretting about the effects it may have on your business, alongside the relationships you have with your clients. But here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with being paid and compensated for your hard work, your talent, and how well you serve your clients. And with the more money in your pocket, you can likely better serve your clients, your team, your loved ones, your communities, and those in need, and maybe save the world as a whole. So by taking everything we talked about today into consideration and creating a simple yet appropriate strategy, the process will be smooth sailing. It's as simple as creating a timeline, doing the work, backing it up by research and value, and communicating the entire process effectively in-house and to your wonderfully amazing clients. You are the only one standing in your way of generating more income. So go ahead, raise your prices. You deserve it. And while doing so, keep in mind that how you pitch and position your price increases will determine the overall success of your business. So be organized about it all and make it a virtually painless process for everyone involved, including yourself.
And that's a wrap. Virtually Untangled is a full-service business, which means they've got you covered on design and content right through to digital and organization. You'll form a long-lasting relationship with them, as collaboration is central to everything they do. Now it's time to seize the moment and become inbox friends. It's easy to do. Just hop on over to virtuallyuntangled.com or their Facebook page to opt in and receive instant access to the most inspirational ride of your life. So what are you waiting for? Become inbox friends with VU. Until the next episode, keep untangling.